Behind the Shades.
So when you're expressing yourself and you began to identify what you didn't want, what are some of the traits in a woman that you're looking for now?
Wow, this is going to sound. When I saw this on people's profiles, I would roll my eyes. I was looking at women's profiles and they would say, don't even contact me if you're not financially stable, if you have any kind of ex-husband or ex-girlfriend lingering around. And they would have a laundry list of deal breakers. And I would roll my eyes and go, oh, and I would just say, that's not for me. Now I understand why they say that, because what I'm looking for in somebody, and again, it could be an age thing or generation thing. I want somebody who is complete. They have. Well, I'll give you an example. I am talking to somebody right now on a dating app, and she checks all the boxes. So we all have a list of I maybe not all the boxes, but a majority of them. Um, and I cannot. I'm looking for the. I'm by habit. I'm looking for the red flags. I cannot find one red flag. I see a woman who is she's an accountant and she owns her own home. Her not ex-husband. See, I almost said it. Her last husband died of cancer, and that was about 3 years ago. Now she's just processing. She's finished processing the death and grieving, and now she wants to get out there and find love again. And I thought that was beautiful. When she told me her husband passed away, by the way, she lost two husbands. So 30 years ago, she lost the first one and then she lost the second one. And I felt like horrible for this woman. But the point is she's complete. She's got her own home. She's we even have the same dreams and aspirations about where we want to retire. But I can't find one red flag in this woman. Now, I'm not saying that this is the one I'm going to choose. I've made a promise to myself that when I start dating again, I'm going to date multiple women. If I choose the first one that comes along, that's not that's that's the pattern that I've been doing all my life. It's just the next one that came along. So while this woman that I'm talking to, I'm enjoying the conversation and she checks all the boxes, doesn't mean she's right for me.
Do you
And
think it's wise for you to date this many people at this point in your life?
that's a very, very good question. It has been suggested to me that I do that by some life coaches. And my answer to that is I don't know if I have the time. So dating multiple women could take months until you settle down with one, until you pick one of them. But Terrain, this is where the freedom of being single and the freedom of healing is, that I don't have to make that decision right now. This woman that I'm talking to, we're going to meet in a week or two after the holidays mess everything up sometimes. So we're going to wait till after the holidays. And on the first date, if we want a second date and it looks good, but just this morning, no, 20 minutes ago before I went on the air with you, I got another like on by the way, I got to tell you something. Facebook, it's got this dating app and it's free. And I've had more success on Facebook's dating app than all the other apps combined that I paid thousands of dollars for over the past year. Anyway, I'm not plugging Facebook, but just for those I just want to let you know that Facebook, I got another like today, and I had a conversation with this other woman. Beautiful. And she lives in the next town over. And so I have to decide, do I want to engage this one as well? So to answer your question, I don't know if it's wise for me to date multiple women, but I don't have to make that decision today. I'll take a little bit from my 12-step program, one day at a time. Today, I'm talking to this woman, but I just started a new conversation with somebody else. Let's see where that goes. I don't have to make a decision today. I can, and I believe firmly in a higher power, and the universe has my back, and whatever plan he has for me, I'm going to let him choose. One of the worst things that you can do is take back your control. That's one of the things they teach us in the 12 steps, is to turn it over. When we start trying to control our own life and control our destiny, that's when everything gets messed up. So I am one day at a time, waking up and going about my day, and how it unfolds. And my higher power just threw another woman in my path today. I don't know if it'll work out, but I mean, if we'll even continue texting or talking, but I'd like to see where it goes.
That's a good approach, because one thing that I try to share with others is that no one can tell you that you're ready until you feel that you're ready. And then once you feel that you're ready, you have to know that you're ready. And if you have women raining from the heavens, then you might as well just pick one and say, okay, let me do this with whomever. But if you want to take it slow, the best advice I can give anyone is look in the mirror, ask yourself the following questions. Are you ready to be what that person wants you to be? And if you can't answer the question yes, then you have a problem. If you answer the question yes, then the next question would be, can you deliver what you believe they will need from you? Because remember, when we go into a relationship, it's not necessarily it's about us. Because if it was about us, you just stay single, right? You wake up when you want, you eat when you want, you shower when you want, you wipe your ass when you want. There's all these different things, right? But once you get into a relationship, you're building for that person, with that person, and for the future. So when you say that you're going to date multiple women, I think that is a fine approach, because you may not be ready to settle down with one because of your past. And that is perfectly fine, because you don't want to give an incomplete version of yourself to someone. Because would you want an incomplete woman to be presented to you?
No. And while I tell you that this woman that I'm talking to is stable and she checks all the boxes, and I see a lot of green flags, the other woman that I just came into my life, she might be as good or better. And going back to the picker, maybe it's not up to me to pick. Maybe one of them will pick me. Maybe one of them will approach me, and so that goes back to, I am not making any decisions. I'm going to let my higher power and the universe guide me into this next chapter of my life.
And what does that next chapter of your life look like for you?
Thank you. I don't know. What are you asking me? What I would like it to look like, or what do I
build it for me?
The scenario that I had in my head, at the beginning of our conversation, I talked to you about the potential version of this woman that I was in a relationship with. In my head was getting up on a Saturday morning and both going for a jog, or both getting up and doing yoga together and making breakfast for each other, or I make breakfast for her, or we jump in the car and go upstate New York and pick apples. A companion. I want to share my life with somebody, the good, the bad, and the ugly. because as much as we can be in control of our life and try to be healthy and mentally healthy and physically healthy, life comes along and throws you a shit curveball. So just take a look at this woman. She lost 2 husbands in a lifetime. I mean, what are the, she said to me, "What did I do wrong?" I said, "I don't know." But I would like a companion to share my life with and ultimately settle down. For people who are getting on in their years, when health issues kick in, or like I need some surgery on my hip, I need a hip replacement, and I've had one done already, but I need the next one done within the next year. It's a lot of work when you come home. It's a lot of rehab. And well, they'll send rehab, or you can go to rehab. You need somebody at home to help you get in and out of bed, get in and out of the bathroom, get whatever. You need, well, I have family that might be willing to come over to do that. I can't expect them to do it 24/7. They have jobs, they have family, they have kids. But my partner can do that. So I'm just giving you a small example of, like, as we get older, we can depend on our partners. When you get married, what is one of the vows? In sickness and in health, and in my age, in sickness comes into play. I hope to live a healthy, long, another 20, 25 years where I don't need extra care. But those are the things that I have to think about at my age. When you're younger people may not have to think about things like that. But that's where I'm at. I have to think, will this next person in my life be able, or will I be able to help them if God forbid something, they come down with something. So, but what it looks like for me is romantic bliss, sharing cold evenings, walks on the beach. I hate to be cliche, but I spent this whole past summer alone, and it was horrible because I'm a big beach person. This woman I'm talking to lives 3 blocks from the beach, so that's one of those boxes that I check off. She's a beach person and she lives by the beach. She wants to go to Florida. I want to go to Florida when I retire. So she checks off that box. So what I'm looking for is I have a mental list of boxes, and I think the next person that I pick, whoever checks the most boxes, wins.
That's how it should be. It's like a prize, right? And we are the prize. And I know that gets used so often that, I am the prize, I am the table. But it's absolutely the way it's supposed to be when we have a checklist, because I have a checklist. So if I were to, anytime I meet a young lady and I say that I'm interested and we go on a couple of dates, there's an analyzing element to how we're interacting, from the conversation to the mannerisms to the goals, things of that nature. And you go check, X, check, and so on. And I encourage everyone to do that, because you don't want to go in a relationship blind. One of my friends, she has a hard time recently because every time she comes home to an empty house. So when her kids aren't there, she's starting to feel the loneliness. And in Canada and in America, the last 3 months out of the year and the first 2 months in the new year is all about relationships, especially family, right? Like you have Remembrance Day in Canada, Memorial Day in the States, you have Thanksgiving, you have the holiday season, which is very family themed and oriented. Yep. Then you have January 1st, which is a celebration of the new year. It's a new you, and you want to make all these stronger relationships. And then you have February, where it's Valentine's Day. Who's that person that you want to give that rose to? And if you remember, Andrew, we spoke about it went from a physical rose to a proverbial one now, right? Correct. Yep. And there's many people who are trying to change the name of some of these holidays. Instead of Valentine's Day, is Single Awareness Day.